So these cold weather crops are finally ready for planting. We've got some cabbage, some broccoli and some cauliflower as well. I've spent the last week emptying out our garden beds of the summer crops and mulching them with leaves, so now they're ready for planting. But before we can get planting, it's time to get some compost. This compost is looking really good. I'm super happy with it, and it's going to get these plants off to a great start. Oh cool, do you want to take them inside to Hannah? So although a lot of these will be going out on the big veggie patch, I am wanting to put some in these raised beds here just because it gets a little bit more sun. So the first ones I'm going to make sure that I plant in here and that I don't want on the big veggie patch are the giant cauliflower heads, and that is because these take a little bit longer to grow, and I'm wanting to make sure that patch is emptied out ready for planting potatoes in the spring. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a handful of compost in each hole where the plant's going to go. This is just going to help them get off to a really good start and give them all the nutrients they need to grow big. So I think in this garden bed I'm just going to put the giant cauliflowers. I think that should work to protect them from my chickens for now. Look at that compost. Beautiful. So these ones here are the orange cauliflowers. And these ones here are a beautiful purple cauliflower. Now, normally at this point I would water these in, but because the compost is so wet already, it's going to have really good contact with the roots. That's going to work. Hopefully that'll keep the chickens and birds off the garden. Good morning everybody, it is a new day. Yesterday just got a little bit hectic, so I had to stop gardening. But yesterday evening when I went out to feed the chickens, I found, you guessed it, the chickens had mauled everything in the garden that we'd done yesterday. So that's fun. I'll have to have a proper look, but from what I could see yesterday, they probably pulled out about half of what we planted. So that really sucks, but this is real life homesteading. And now I know for next time to not just think that this is sufficient to keep chickens out of my garden. So don't be like me and properly protect your plants from your chickens. Anyway, let's take a look. So I had to replant a couple of these ones. These are the purple ones. They don't look too bad. That one, let's take the netting off, have a wee peep. Yeah, so this one here was probably the nicest looking seedling and the biggest, and you can see here that they've just snapped that leaf off there, but at least it's still in the ground, so I think it will come back. Unfortunately, it looks like they got all but this one of the orange cauliflowers, so that really sucks because I actually don't have any more of them left. But I do have more purple cauliflowers and some more normal white ones that I can plant as well. So I will just probably go through and replant these garden beds with those now, and then we will properly net this area and then move on to planting all the rest of the brassicas in the big veggie patch. So I'm going to try my best to not let my girls let the chickens out today, just until we've gotten all these garden beds secured. We've got a big day ahead of us, so let's get into it. It's not pretty, but I think it'll work for now. So this is where I'm hoping to plant all the rest of the brassicas. I'm wanting to plant them down this double-sized row here, and you may be thinking, Jess, how on earth are you going to stop your chickens from eating these? And the answer at the moment is, I don't know. I'm thinking I might put a fence up around this whole veggie garden for the winter, but I'm just not sure. At the moment, I've got some frost cloth that I'm wanting to put over these anyways, just until they get a little bit more established, and it's also going to help keep pests away from them. So I'm hoping that'll keep the chickens off this garden for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and measure out this frost cloth just to make sure it covers the rows properly, and then I'm going to get planting. Potato. I feel like I'm forever going to be pulling potatoes out of this patch. Oh my gosh. A bunch of potatoes. Ah, where'd that go? There. So these are a mix of the white and purple cauliflowers. Help has arrived. Thank goodness. What a find. So I think we're going to put the cabbages on this side and the broccolis on this single row here. Seeing all of this, you might be thinking, Jess, why on earth are you planting so many brassicas? Well, if you're new here, you might not know that we are a household of 14 people. So my husband and I and our 3 children live with my mum and dad and some of my siblings. So there's a lot of mouths to feed. So we figure we can put these away in the freezer, give them away to other family and friends and things like that. We figure we may as well use the space while we have it. And also by planting so many, we have more of a chance at actually being able to eat some if some get eaten by pests. It looks like we got the frost covers on just in time because somebody has let the chickens out. So it's a little bit later on in the day, and the last thing that I'm wanting to do on this veggie patch is plant some mustard seeds. We're planting these as a pest control. Things like aphids are going to go for the mustard greens and hopefully leave our brassicas alone. This is where you girls are going to plant the mustard. Yep, and we're going to sprinkle it like this in the dirt. Okay? Yep. Mabel, you want to grab a pencil? Now we're just going to do the last of the wildflowers down this side here. Well, that is all the brassicas in the ground. I am so stoked to get that done. We do have a couple more cool weather crops we need to get in the ground, but that's a job for next week. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to know what you can plant right now, click on this video here. Otherwise, YouTube thinks you might like this video. Come on, let's go. Got so much cleaning up to do now.